So,
What a life, yeah, life,
oh shit. Oh shit, dude. There we go. Alright guys, welcome back to another E90 review. So this time it's an actual M3. And it's funny because this car actually used to belong to a decently popular Seattle area YouTuber. You may know him, it's, Ideal Cars. I think he just hit 100,000 subscribers, so shout out to him, big congrats. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm a new channel. Why am I trying to get to 1,000 subscribers? Well, but yeah, like and subscribe, you know? So we're gonna go through the car a little bit, tell you a little bit about it, show you what's on it here in just a second. But let's just kind of admire this silver paint with the 18-inch wheels and the slight drop. I mean, that just looks so good. Like, especially with that M3 wide body. Oh man, that's excellent. Exhaust sticks out a little far from my taste, but overall, super clean.
I think we actually put the exhaust on wrong, and that's why it kind of sticks out.
Yeah, we'll fix it. We got a X pipe coming. I hope we have time to install it while I'm here, but yeah, while we're under there, we may try to adjust that exhaust and see what we can do about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, this is my brother. This is the owner. So yeah, so tell us like what parts are on the car and like how long you've owned it, that kind of stuff.
I haven't owned it for too long. I've had it for about 2 years.
Yeah.
I haven't done. It's just got the Megan exhaust, some H&R Springs, and then some spacers to make it look more aggressive.
Oh, and so it has spacers. I was gonna say because I was like admiring the stance earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had spacers. That's cool.
Yeah. That's basically it. Like you said, we have the X pipe coming.
Didn't you say you have a short shifter?
No, not a short shifter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's stock.
The shifter feels pretty good in this car. So I've driven this. The last time I drove this car, it did not have exhaust. So this is going to be my first time driving with exhaust. I can't wait to hear kind of what it sounds like when you open it up. How many miles are on this?
103.
103. And like, oh, you've put like no miles on this thing.
Yeah, I got it at 90, basically 91. So and I've had it for 2 years, so about 6K a year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty low. And then as far as maintenance, did you have to do TVAs or no?
No. I think Ideal Cars did the TVA. He basically owned it, and he did the TVAs and like fluids and stuff, and then he maybe had it for like,
Yeah.
8 or 9 months or something.
And then the rod bearings, like you've had like, I don't think they've ever been done, but you did the oil test and it was like,
yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the rod bearing thing is like a huge debate you can get into whether you need it or not.
yeah.
It could be a paranoid thing, or like you just drive it till it blows up.
Yeah, I would say if you started pushing like really high miles, they may just consider it.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I would just do a Blackstone oil test, like a Blackstone oil test, like as often as you can. And honestly, if they're not finding anything like suspect as far as oil, like metal levels in your oil, it's probably fine. So
Yeah. Out here doing it for Dale.
out here doing it for Dale. That's right.
Drive it till it explodes.
Drive it till it explodes. I hope it doesn't blow up while we're driving. Like that would really suck because I would be driving and then it would look like my fault.
I hope the car doesn't blow up ever.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you want to do now?
Drive it. Damn. So last time I did a review of an E90, my friend Ross was in the car and he made some comment about the clutch being lighter in the E9 in the M3, and I was like, I just agreed with him and I thought it was bullshit. It's actually true. This is actually a lot lighter than the E20 to the 328, which is weird.
Yeah. Look, honestly, like,
it's not bad. I don't hate it. It's just a thing. It's just I just noticed it. All right, Matt Fair one take style. Gonna wait for this traffic to go.
you gotta put on M mode.
Oh, good point.
Push the M button.
You gotta push this little M button here.
There you go.
Hell yeah. Time to do it for Dale. For this Acura. Oh shit. Oh shit, dude. Woo.
Oh my god. I'm along for the ride in my own car.
Oh shit. Oh,
those clutch kicking.
Traction control, traction control, traction control.
This thing would be so fun to track. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, we caught that Subaru in no time. For as heavy as it is, it's not scary when it gets sideways. I thought it would be, it's not.
Oh no, dude, it makes it better actually.
Yeah, it makes it better.
Yeah.
And like, it's very progressive. And are you scared back there?
No, no, I just want you to do your work, you know.
It's very progressive and neutral. And so like, in other words, like when you feel the limit of grip, like you can feel where it's gonna let go. And so it's not gonna like bite you in the ass. Like you can approach that limit at your own leisure. The shifter's pretty good. Like I was kind of wrestling with the clutch a little bit because it was like, I was expecting more pushback from it than it really gives you.
Let her rip.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna let her rip tater chip at the bottom of this hill here. Let's just do a quick like 1 to 3 pull.
Okay. Yeah. No one's behind you, so if you want to go from a dead stop, you probably could.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna do.
Good launch. Hey! Oh!
Yeah, getting 1-2 in this car is pretty tough.
Yeah.
I just asked you, like, so how does this compare to a 328i? And then you give an informed opinion, like, this car is a lot better.
Absolutely on it in every conceivable way.
328 is kind of a car. I know I said it was good, but I was just kidding.
I was just kidding. Yeah, it's an M car. It's an M car versus a non-M car. So
the only problem is,
there we go. It's quick, dude.
It sounds really good.
Yeah,
it sounds like a coyote.
Yeah, it does sound a little bit like a coyote, but it sounds better than a coyote. Yeah, and like you hear the ITBs, like you hear the intake honk. Oh my god, it's just such a complete experience.
Dude, I think you need an M3 on the top.
I can do an M3. This thing is just so like, it's just happy to like let you drive it. It's like it doesn't want to scare anyone off. Like even though it's like an M3, it's like supposed to be a high performance car. You have to be like a really driver to like this up. Like it's a pretty drivable car. What can you get one of these for now? Like 17, 18 grand?
Dude, you could probably, I mean, yeah, you could probably pick one up for like $17,000 or $18,000.
Yeah, I mean, like that's such a good deal. Even if you had to, like, even if in the worst case scenario you bought a car, you had to do throttle valve actuators and rod bearings, you would still have, you know, a really nice car for like 25K all in.
Oh yeah.
So like,
yeah, you did bearings and TVAs. Like, buy the car for 16. I mean, yeah. The thing is, the car is fairly cheap to buy, but can be expensive to own. Like I was saying, they did that battery that was like $800.
yeah. So I didn't know that about BMWs, but they have smart batteries. So like, there's like this whole process that's changing out the battery.
But it's I feel like they're like aftermarket head units for this, which would probably be better. Because this is just kind of, you just kind of stare at it, it doesn't do much.
Why is this person honking? You have the fucking cops.
Yeah, and
I'm not even going that fast.
Yeah, like you usually like took M mode off, so.
Yeah. Okay, so anytime I do a car review, I always like to have a section where I kind of recap everything that's on the car, as far as aftermarket parts and things like that, just so you can get a feel for just what I'm actually driving. So let's go ahead and just recap everything that's on it. We have Michelin Pilot Super Sports for tires. We have H&R Springs with the stock shocks. And let me tell you something. A lot of cars, when they have stock shocks and aftermarket springs, they ride like crap and they handle like crap because they're too low and they're too bouncy, and they're just the shocks are not valved for the springs and that kind of thing. Not the case. Not the case. This car handles, I don't know if they were the original shocks. They may have been replaced at some point, but the car rides very smooth. It's very compliant, and it's not bouncy. If you notice, there's actually a section of this video where I get a little bit sideways. The car is extremely controllable, very neutral, very planted, very sure of itself, very confidence-inspiring. It does not drive like a Honda on eBay springs. It's a much better driving experience. I think maybe at some point he may want to think about going to like a KW coilover setup, but he doesn't need that. For sure doesn't need that. It does have the EDC. It has the electronic dampers. So that's the other benefit of going with a spring versus a coilover. You get to keep the adjustable shocks. And then other than that, it just has an aftermarket exhaust. So I believe this is a Megan exhaust, which is funny because it says Supremo on it. It doesn't say Megan anywhere. Probably for the best. All right, so that exhaust clip was pre-X-Pipe, so if we end up doing the X-Pipe, we'll put that in. If not, then you'll just have to see it later. When you say Megan, it conjures up thoughts and feelings of like cheap eBay parts and like really like low quality crappy parts. I know people are gonna say something about Megan exhaust. Good exhaust, really solid exhaust, nothing wrong with it. So anyway, that does it for the mod recap. Let's get back to driving. Changing drivers now, letting Dale Davidson drive. Check him out on YouTube. This guy has a Trans Am, but now he's driving the M3, so.
Let it rip.
Let it rip, tater chip.
Okay, this thing's just nice. That's a first impression. Okay.
That's a hot take. Dude, yeah, this car, you kind of just man the transmission, honestly.
The transmission,
Yeah.
the shifter's super light.
That's kind of a BMW thing, man. You just have to take full control over it.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not used to this light of a shifter, but I mean it feels nice. I do kind of like my heavy shifters.
I feel like German cars, like their shifters are always like, except for Porsches, but like every other German car,
Serious cars.
the shifter's like, it just could be better.
Dude,
That's why a lot of people go for a short shifter.
This, dude, this thing is nice.
Just bald eagles and freedom, baby. Ouch, shit.
I don't know how to use blinkers.
Do it for Dale.
I'm going.
I don't know how to use blinkers.
Dude, that's why no one uses the blinkers in the BMW.
Of all the BMWs, this is probably the most like
Yeah,
America. Yeah. Well, maybe E39 M5, but this is the second most America.
Dude, honestly, I feel like I've never driven an F80 M3, but I think this one is probably one of the better M3s you can buy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've driven an E46 and like, believe it or not, they actually feel pretty similar. This just feels like a little faster.
Yeah, I bet it does.
The E46 is just has a little more feedback, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's slower. So I feel like telling people what an E90 M3 is like to drive at this point is like not valuable because there's a million videos on it. But yeah, I mean, it's like all the cliches, like the engine pulls really hard all the way to red line. It likes to wind up. The transmission's pretty easy. It handles amazingly. It's very neutral. The steering's good. It's decent. There's a decent amount of steering feedback for the weight of the car. How much does this car weigh, Kyle?
It's like 37.
It's 3,700 pounds. So I mean, it's a pretty heavy car. So for this car to still have the feeling and feedback that it has is pretty impressive.
Dude, this thing, dude, you can shift this thing so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, you can bang gears in this thing until you miss second gear like I just did.
Yeah, second's tough. I think the transmission needs a rebuild, but you can still hit second. It just takes a little practice.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I got the blinkers to turn off.
Finally got the. How long have we been driving with the blinkers on? This is the most degenerate car review ever. Yeah, you may just need a new like synchro, new synchros or something. There's a decent amount of shove for how. If you just look at the like torque specs on paper, you'd think like, oh, this thing has no power.
No,
it pulls hard. Like it really does. Especially if you're over 3,500 RPM, it really goes. Like it's quick.
But I mean, like when you're driving it, it just has this. It has a really nice feel. I love the way like the clutch feels.
Yeah. Once you get used to the clutch, it's actually really great. The thing is like, no matter what you own, if you don't own the top of the line trim of that car, like you're always gonna feel a tinge of jealousy when you see one drive by. Yeah. If you have an M3 and you see a nicer car, it's just like, okay, yeah, like he has a nicer car than me. But if you have a 335i, actually bad example because a lot of 335i guys they're all running like 700 horsepower single turbo. No, let's say you have a 340i and you didn't get an M4. Like that's like, you know, you're gonna feel that a little bit of.
Dude, but even like 335i owners, like they'll buy the M hood and like
That's true.
the M front bumper to like make their car look like it. It's like it's
Yeah.
not quite the same.
It doesn't have the Y body,
Yeah.
and it doesn't sound as good. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Better example would be a 328i. Like,
Oh, for sure.
let's say you have a 328i. You may love your car. It may be a great car, great for what it is. But every time you see an M3, you're gonna be a little bit like,
Yeah, you just gotta if you hold it there for just a little second longer, you would have had it.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, you got this one too. Nice though.
yeah, it's really fun. It teaches you how to be like a fast driver on a track, but also a safe driver.
There's just so much joy of like those top 3,000 RPMs. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
It's hard not to like floor it once you get to 4,500.
Yeah.
Like once you get to 4,500, like you can't shift.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going until 8.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's definitely accurate.
I don't know if I told you like the stock specs on it, but this car actually came with like everything. So it came with like premium package, cold weather, high
yeah.
drive, and everything. So it was
Yeah, it
like
seems-
the top of the line one.
Yeah, this thing's pretty loaded, I can tell.
Next year, you gotta do like an update video on it.
Yeah, we're doing an update video next year. Hopefully it'll be supercharged next year. But we're gonna see, because I have to go back to New York on Saturday, but we're gonna hopefully get some time to put the X pipe on, which should be here sometime next week. It might be here late next week, like Friday. But
Dude, if it comes during the week, just text me and let me know.
yeah,
like,
and then come back and we'll get it installed.
Yeah.
Other than that, dude, it's a sick ass car. Thanks for letting me drive it,
Yeah, dude, no worries.
and thanks for letting this guy drive it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Will's first time. Dale's first time.
Dale was on the track.
Is that your first time driving this?
Yeah.
Final thoughts on this car. I know people are scared of these things because of some of the maintenance stuff, throttle valves, raw bearings, things like that. Like I said, if you get one of these if you get a solid price on it, even if you have to do those things and spend the money, you probably won't have to do it again in your course of ownership. And you're 20,000, 25,000 tops all in for a really nice, refined kind of, luxury sports sedan, luxury sports coupe, whatever you want to call it. And if you're passionate about BMWs, you like BMWs, you like the way BMWs look and feel and all that, these things are awesome. I mean, especially with the 6-speed instead of the DCT. I think this car will hold its value. I've had to talk my brother off the ledge several times. He's tried to sell it, and I've always talked him out of it. Like, no, you have a good car. Yeah, it's a little more expensive, but you got to understand, this is a much nicer car. It costs a lot of money from the factory. This is almost a $70,000 car, brand new. You got to pay to play. Even if you can get one cheap, it's going to cost some money to maintain it. But I mean, it's up to you. It's everyone's different. But if it were my money, I know that this is something that would be on my shopping list. These drive amazing. They're really rewarding. You get compliments on them all the time. They sound great, they drive great, they're refined. But that's it for this one. Stick around, we got lots of reviews coming this week because I'm surrounded by cars this week.